Hi, this is Shannon.
This is Herman.
It's MaRLo. How you doing?
And we're here with Neon Owl at Dreamstate. How are you doing today?
Yeah, good.
Are you excited to be back at Dreamstate, knowing that you have Dreamstate coming up, in a couple weeks at Melbourne?
Next week.
Next week
in Melbourne.
Actually, yes, next week.
Next week, Melbourne and Sydney. And so, tonight in Los Angeles.
Are you here by yourself, or do you have the family with you?
I don't have the family with me, no.
Okay. How are they doing?
They're doing great, but I've been away a little bit too long now, so I'm keen to go home.
Ready to go back home?
Yeah.
I have kids too, so I can only imagine how much you want to see
exactly.
the family back home. So can you explain the vibe? How is it different, Dreamstate in America versus Dreamstate in Australia? Is the crowd different, the energy different, or is it very similar?
Look, there's as many similarities as there are differences. So Dreamstate in Los Angeles is like a lot of different stages with a lot of different sounds, whereas in Australia it's one really big stage. So the vibe is still amazing in both. In America they dress up a lot more with the.
I've heard that.
With all the
I've
rave
heard that
gear.
The ravey stuff is a little bit different here in America.
Yeah.
I'm sure I would love to experience it in Australia or, other festivals. I've actually never been to a festival outside of America.
Okay.
So I would be very, very curious. Well, you have a lot of big things this year, not just Dreamstate. You have 4 tracks of your own up for the A State of Trance Tune of the Year, and you have 4 tracks off your label, Reaching Altitude.
Yep.
Do you have a favorite that you hope might get selected?
Probably Stronger Together, just because it's a meaningful song to me, and it's the theme song of my altitude events. So my own altitude events are really important to me, obviously, and they're like a hard ticket show. We do a 4-hour set. We have live vocalists, so that's really special to me.
Yeah. Okay. I have to. If I could cast my vote for Roses and Thorns with our girl Lenny, I'm gonna have to give it to that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they're all, any of them, great choices. So, would you, when you are collaborating with an artist, because you are, not unfamiliar with Neon Owl, discovering Triode from Open Door Sessions and collabing with him on a huge track. When you are looking to collaborate with an artist or signing an artist to your label, what do you look for? Is there a particular sound or vibe, or what is it that sticks out to you?
Yeah, basically if I get a feeling from it, like how I feel when I listen to it, I don't really think about too much. I don't really look specifically for anything. It's just how do I feel when I hear a certain type of music, and if I get excited by that music. And then also, of course, if I like the person, it makes a big difference.
Right. That's important.
And I mean, Triode, he's a great guy.
He is a great guy.
We've become friends and stuff, so I'll support him as much as I can. That's
amazing. I love that. So when it comes to up-and-coming artists, Armand is a producer himself, so I'm going to pass it off to him for a little bit so he can get into the more production speak.
Wow. So, we're traveling and everything. Do you still find time to produce while you travel in your hotel room?
So my answer like 2 weeks ago would have been completely different than now.
Wow.
Because usually my answer would have been that I find it too hard to get focused and motivated and energized when I'm sitting in a hotel room or an airplane with a laptop. It's not the same as sitting in a studio. But I've had to move house. Well, I've moved house recently, so I haven't built the new studio yet in the new house. So I've sort of been forced into a situation where I've got to make it work somehow, right?
All right.
And so this tour actually I've been producing on the laptop, and it's actually turned out really good. And for the next 6 months I'll be doing it sort of just on small speakers in a bedroom and on the laptop until my proper studio is finished building.
Nice. So your next project is gonna be something unique because you're taking it.
It's a different approach. Yeah, definitely. But at the same time, I'm just so excited to have a proper studio again. Completely custom made, and it's the same guys that build the studios for Disney Studios and for Dolby Surround Sound, so it's like really high end. It'll be like one of the top studios in the world, so I can't wait.
Nice. Any equipment there that you're gonna have?
It's the cool thing about when I met up with the sound designer and the architects, we're not focusing on the equipment. There's top end equipment, of course, but we're trying to make it look like a comfortable, like high-end designer space to be in and to hang out and like have couches and have like an arcade machine in there and like have a fish tank in there and some bonsai trees under grow lights. Like make it a really cool room to be in regardless. to feel inspired and to create new work.
I love that.
What I
yeah.
wanted to get away from was all my studios in the past have sort of had, the neon lights and the sort of sound panels
Yeah.
and that it looks like a studio, or those really stark white ones with all the sound panels and stuff. And they're cool. They're great and I love them and stuff. But now I wanted to go into sort of, I guess, a different phase of my life and my career. I wanted to have a space that's more natural with like rock walls and like natural stuff in there so that I feel like calm and inspired and relaxed and want to spend a lot of time in there to work.
Wow.
So it's sort of a different approach to a studio as well. Because, I mean, the touring and all the airports, hotels, crowded places, loud music and stuff, I come home so overstimulated, so like you're running on adrenaline the whole time when you're on tour. So I sort of crash when I get home, and I don't want to be in another environment that's sort of hyperactive and intense
So
and,
you wanna,
and energetic.
yeah.
I want a calm environment.
I love that. Creating the environment you want, and it'll bring in inspiration.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's more the focus now, yeah.
I'm
Cool.
curious if creating a different environment than what you're used to, if you expect that is going to influence the sound of the music.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. I guess we'll find out.
I think if you're in a good headspace, you're more creative and better anyway, so more ideas come to you. But it's little things like the computer is you won't even see it. It's a button when you turn the lights on before you even get to the studio. So in the hallway, that already boots up your computer and speakers before you enter the room.
Oh my God, can't wait
So
to
then
see
you
that.
go in
Yeah.
there and it's ready to go.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean?
Check
The
this out.
speaker, like
Yeah.
everything's hidden. It's not about seeing the sound
Yeah.
panels. They're hidden behind the plasterboard and everything.
Shit.
So all the bass traps are hidden under the steps. You don't even see them.
Wow.
The air conditioning is hidden in the stairs. So things like that, where it's just like a slick room
Yeah.
and it sounds great.
It's like a dream studio. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting chills just like
Yeah.
imagining it. Can't wait to see it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's huge too. It's like, it's more than 10 meters long
Wow.
and 3.5 meters wide. So half of it's like a lounge room, and then it steps down into the workspace where you do the studio work. So you can also just go
Yeah.
there and look at the fish tank and relax and have a coffee with your friends. And then when it's
Sweet.
time to work, you can just take a couple steps down and get to work.
Nice, nice. So now you mentioned that you've been in the box, just working on your computer. Have you discovered new VSTs or plugins that you weren't relying on before? Now that
Yeah,
you're
I
just
just
in the
bought, I
computer.
just literally bought June 3 like 5 days ago.
Dude, awesome. Yeah.
So that's Synapse Audio, I believe, make that one. It's a great one. So I'm just
Yeah.
sort of learning how to use that new plugin.
Nice. nice.
I also like some of the plugins that are really don't take up much hard drive space or CPU space, like Spire and some of the freeware plugins as well.
I
Like
love Spire,
Synth
yeah.
One and stuff like that. Look, but the tools don't really matter. It's the creative ideas behind it. Because if
Yes.
you have a strong melody, it'll sound good in a lot of different synths anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't get it to 100%, I can still go to a studio and get it to where it needs
Beef
to
it
be.
up, yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Nice,
I can
yeah.
still do all the ideas, all the creative stuff while I'm on the road. But that answer would have been very different just 2 weeks ago.
Wow, amazing.
Great.
Yeah, so you mentioned that, you look, if a sound inspires you from a new coming producer or something like that, what kind of melody or instrument do you usually get driven to when like looking for something for your
I don't
reaching
really
out
look
to
at others.
label? No?
I don't look at what other people are doing
No?
that much. Like I
Or-
play other people's music, sure,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't really like. I won't like load up someone's track and go, oh, how did they
Okay.
do that? I feel like I just like to experiment myself, and the way I produce is really playful. So I'll just load up sounds on the keyboard and just start playing
Yeah.
around.
Okay.
So, in a way, that's freeing as well, because that way you're not sort of sounding the same like anybody else.
Right.
And I am pretty proud to say that I feel like my sound is very different to a lot of other artists.
Yes, yes,
And that comes from not trying to copy anyone else at all.
yes. And how about like look from newer producers like people that are trying to reach the professional level? Like me, I'm just starting up and I'm trying to reach and like if somebody were to give you a demo, what type of melody is something that kind of
Well,
like the one you found with Triode and like
yeah.
the-
So there's two ways to answer this. So on one side, I think your question's asking like, how can you get ahead as a new producer, and what sort of sound should you go for as a new producer? And the example you use as well is Triode there, which is he made a cover of Castles in the Sky. So an existing big song that a lot of people really like, including me.
I
That
love
was
it.
redone, and then I got my friend Haley N to do the cover vocals on it. His original vocal wasn't Haley N; it was a different vocalist. So that's a good way to get people to pay attention, is remixing or remaking a classic song that is popular or that people like, or a current hit song, and just put a different twist on it. So that's how you can get the most attention the quickest, remixing something that's already great.
Awesome.
And that's how Triode got my attention, for sure. As far as, so the second part to your question, which is what sounds and stuff would I look for my label,
Yes.
that would be things that are more like festival friendly, a bit more towards the commercial side, more stompy, more catchy,
energy.
you know what I mean? So it has to have sort of this anthemic, almost like going to war feeling, like stadium, like
That
rock
bounce.
feel, like
Yeah.
power to it, but still be emotive, still be emotional, not be like dumb.
Yeah.
So there's a fine balance there, you know. But when it gets too complicated with all the arpeggios and the, you know, the melodies and everything else, where it just gets lost into more listening music rather than party music, that's not really what our label's about.
Okay.
So it's party music, basically.
It's interesting that you said that because we just had another mastermind ODS member, Neon Owl, member Dan Pino. He has a viral reel right now picking up. It's a melodic techno version of Chop Suey.
Okay, yeah.
I just
Yeah,
wrote
that's
down.
sick, yeah.
And so, not exactly the same as remaking our existing
No,
EDM
but that
song,
doesn't matter. It can be anything. Like
but
that's
yeah,
a sick song.
so it's taking off
I
in
bet.
a viral way. So
bet.
yes, he's on the right track. Then that's good to know.
Look, it catches people's attention straight away.
For sure. No,
Something
it
that people
totally
already
has.
recognize and love. They're like, oh, what's this? Oh, and then a new interpretation. So
Yeah.
people like, and what works really well in music is contrast, right? So if you have something and then something unexpected happens,
Right.
that's what works. I
Right.
mean, that's what a build-up is. It builds, and then you wait, what's going to happen? And then if something unexpected happens, like a drop, people are like, oh,
Yeah.
you know, that creates that moment, that feeling.
Yeah.
So we as people, we love feeling contrast and we love feeling surprised and excited.
Right.
So when music sort of flows all the time, it's nice to listen to and everything else, but it doesn't really work on a dance floor. For me, it's very personal, you
Right.
know. So for my set, so if the question is what am I looking for on my label, it's things that are exciting and get people jumping.
Nice. Love
Yeah.
it.
Well, you're clearly a master at doing all of this. You sell out your altitude shows. You're
I think in any creative industry, you're never a master. I don't think it exists.
I think
you're constantly learning.
I
So a
think
master
that
suggests
attitude
that you
and
know.
that mindset is why you're so successful.
I'm learning every day.
Right,
Like,
always
every
wanting
single
to
day. I was
learn.
just saying the new synths.
Right.
What did I say?
Always
I'm
be
learning how to use the new
Always be
plugin.
learning.
Yeah.
That was my answer to you.
Right.
See
That's
what
why
I
you're
mean?
successful.
So that's the mindset. I'll
That is
never
the right
say I
mindset.
know what I'm doing.
Exactly.
I don't. I'm learning constantly, trying to get better, and trying to share what I do know with other people. So I mean, that's more like a mentorship than I'll never be a master.
Right.
There's no such thing as being
I
a
love
master in
that
creative
attitude.
industries.
That's a great attitude to have to impart on anybody who is either on their way.
It's just where are you in your
achieving
journey,
success.
and
Right.
that's
It's
it.
a journey.
Like,
The whole thing
that's
is a
the
journey.
thing. Like if you've been doing it for 10 years, you're going to have more skills than if you've been doing it for 1 year, of course.
Right.
So it's just change your timeline. It's like, where do you want to be?
Right.
There is no finish line.
Right.
There is no finish
And
line.
staying aware that
So
you
it's
don't know
still, yeah.
everything and
Yeah.
being willing to learn. No, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's bring it back to this moment. You're doing a tech energy set
Yeah.
tonight. So can you specify for some viewers and listeners that might be new
Yeah,
to
yeah.
the scene? What's the difference between your tech energy sets and like
A normal set.
a
yeah.
normal set?
So a tech energy set is basically complete freedom to do whatever I want, but it's got to be highly energetic, and it's usually quite techie influenced. And that's why tech
Love
energy
that. I
comes
cannot
from.
wait.
Right. So it's not staying to any boundaries. I can play like hard techno, hard trance, hard style even, and it's just as long as it's a bit on the aggressive side.
I love that.
And driving, I play some drum and bass sometimes. Like there's no real rules to it.
Oh, that sounds so
Okay,
exciting.
so the idea is not for us all to hug each other anymore in that moment. It's like we're going for it. Do you know what I mean?
I
So
love
that's
that.
different. And my normal sets are more
You have
fun
that.
and
You
more
have that
loving
in there.
feelings and like a lot more lyrics, vocals, and
Yeah.
beautiful melodies. And it's a
I
different
love that
experience.
too, but different,
Yeah, me
different,
too. Me
totally
too.
different mood.
Well,
different mood.
well, that's the thing. It's like everybody has different moods, right? Like you're not always just happy and
We're human.
like we're human, exactly. And so I felt like I was missing a big part of my ability to express myself in my sets because I kept getting booked and having to felt like I had to play a lot of my vocal stuff and songs that people know me for in my releases, and I felt a bit limited in that, where it's like, I love this, don't get me wrong, and I still make the vocal tracks, I still
Right.
make those melodic things, I still love that, but it's nice to every now and then have an outlet, especially at a big event like Dreamstate or Transmission or a State of Trance or my own altitude shows, to just go, well, and this is my darker side, this
Right.
is my more aggressive side,
Yeah,
let's go.
that's great.
Well, and I like that too, and I think that is you staying true to yourself as a person,
Yeah.
because everybody with their personality doesn't just have one side
Exactly.
to it.
And I hate feeling trapped in
Right.
anything. So it's just like,
And you still have a sound.
Exactly.
They still sound like you.
it's still
but
my,
it's
and most of
different
it's still my own
moods.
music. Like a lot of it's still my own productions, or I'll remix some of those vocal tracks as well to work in the Tech Energy sets. So it's just, it's in a way as well, a way to get around getting pigeonholed as being one certain thing and only, catering for that moment, you know. Also set times wise, it's like then you're always in that sort of position, whereas now I can also do some of the later set times and it's but it's I love doing it as well. It's really fun.
That's awesome. I love that. I can't wait to see it tonight. So, what are you the most thankful for in this moment?
What am I the most thankful for in this moment? It's going to sound a bit cheesy because it's not really to do with the music stuff, but I'm really grateful to be going home to see my son. I really miss him.
I knew as a parent that's probably what you were going to say. So I can completely appreciate that. And it doesn't sound cheesy to me.
No, like the shows and the career, like I love it. But like I really miss my son.
How old is he?
He's 6.
I have a 13-year-old daughter and then a 10-year-old boy and a 7-year-old boy.
Yeah, so you get it.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
It's so fun. So I can only imagine how hard it is to be away.
He just lost another tooth and like I wasn't
And
there
you're not
for
there.
it and stuff. And so that stuff
hard.
kills me a bit. So
Yeah.
I'm pumped to go home, but the heartbreaking thing is I'm home for 3 days and then I've got to go again, you know?
Yeah. Does he ever get to travel? Do you bring the fam with you?
Yeah, I used to bring him a
trips and
lot,
stuff?
but he started school now, so now we have periods. And so I do it the other way. So I've taken January off, all of January, and that's his school holidays.
Yeah.
So then we have a whole month together.
Is he aware of what Dad does? Like, does he think it's cool, or is he not really?
He's aware. Yeah, it's funny. Like when I go out and go to the shops in Australia, especially and in Asia, if I walk around with him, it's like a lot of people come up to take photos all the time, and he's sort of saying, "Again, come on!" Like, and he sort of makes like little sly comments to the people wanting to take photos. I'm like, River, just relax.
Oh my goodness,
Like,
that's so funny.
we have to take photos all the time. Can't you just say no? Like, and in front of them, like in front of the people wanting to take pictures. So it's kind of embarrassing.
My husband is he's a producer as well,
Okay,
and you know, things are picking up for him. So
Awesome.
hopefully one day, you know, he'll be traveling too, and unfortunately feeling the pain of that. But our kids are aware of it. My daughter actually did the braids in my hair yesterday before I left.
Right, that's
So-
cool.
So our kids, you know, they I don't know if they realize how cool their parents are yet.
Well, I don't
but
think he thinks
that
it's
we're
cool.
part of it.
That's
Yeah,
the thing.
they're sort of like over it.
If there's like a billboard or a poster or something of my face up on a wall, and
He
I'm like,
doesn't
well,
realize
like,
what
hey,
it
that's
is.
your dad. And he's like, I don't want to look, and he like refuses to look at it. He's like, I don't care.
He's
I
like,
don't
I
care.
really don't care.
I'm like, should I put on my new song? No. So it's like he doesn't want to know about it. That's
is
Dad's
so-
thing, and we have a different connection, of course, as other stuff.
Oh, I love that. That's so cute. Well, I'm glad you do get to see him soon, even though it's not going to be long enough. But hopefully you'll get a little bit of a break with the family.
Most of
for a little
December,
bit longer.
yeah,
Good,
most of
good.
December, and then Christmas and all January. So,
Oh, good. That would be so good for you guys
It's
to
kind
have
of a
that
light.
family time.
This touring's been really a lot since August. So my altitude shows were in August, and since then it hasn't stopped basically. So I'm sort of at the tail end of it, and I'm ready
nice.
to go
Well, I
home.
know you have dinner plans, so I'll ask one last silly question
Yep.
before we let you go. But when you're in America, what's your favorite fast food chain that you can't get anywhere else?
Fast food chain.
If you can't think of one, you can think of. Is there? Any
I'm not a
food?
huge fast food person, but
Okay.
we just had Bubba Shrimp. That was pretty good.
Okay.
That's fast food-ish,
Okay.
right?
Kind of.
Yes.
It's a chain. It's a chain restaurant.
Yeah.
It's a chain restaurant.
I like Five Guys.
Okay. That counts as
That counts.
Yeah.
And
do
Wendy's
Five Guys.
burger goes all right as well.
Okay. All right.
I
Good
don't
to
love
know.
In-N-Out burger. I know that's a big surprise. I don't
I'm
love
not
it.
a California native, and that does not offend me.
Okay. All right.
I'm a California native.
You're a little-
but
you're a little offended?
I'm not offended, but
Yeah. But to be honest, I don't eat many burgers or anything
Yeah.
at all. So
You don't-
it's not really my thing.
Yeah. What kind of food do you normally eat? Are you?
I like
pretty,
a lot of Asian food, like Vietnamese
Okay.
soups and Vietnamese stuff, and Japanese food.
Okay.
Thai food.
More Asian
Okay.
food. Yep.
Okay, awesome. Well, we will let you go, get to your dinner plans, and
Thank
I
you.
cannot wait to see your Tech Energy set today.
Yes.
Thank you so
Couple of
much for sitting with us.
No worries. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
awesome.